Dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack and flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yup, what's good, original crew, man? We're back today, man. We got a Blackie Speaks visual, man. We haven't checked out Blackie Speaks video in a good minute, right? Mm-hmm. But today's visual, man, we got how the feds are catching rappers in 2025. The feds are playing a very, very dirty game, huh, see? And I ain't just talking about necessarily, you know what I'm saying, when it comes down to, like, shootings and stuff like that, but it's just everything, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I ain't gonna lie, if you never mind. But we're gonna check this out, man. See what he got to speak about today. But hey, make sure you check out the links in the description box
down below.
You already know where to go if you want to first support. All you gotta do is check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's visuals,
lock it in with a thumbs up.
But let's go. Let's check it out. Let's see what it's about. You ready? Mm-hmm. Look good.
Now, a wave of rappers are getting caught up in serious investigations, federal cases, RICO charges, murder indictments, you name it. Over the last few weeks and months, we've seen a surge of stories coming to the surface. Rappers, affiliates, hip-hop moguls, and even people in the same circles. A lot of people are getting arrested left and right. So how exactly are the feds catching rappers in 2025? Let's take a look at a few different cases and break down the tactics being used. Before we get into how the feds are operating today in relation to catching rappers, it's important to realize this isn't something new. The concept of hip-hop police has been around since the late 90s. It all started after the death of the notorious B.I.G., when the NYPD formed a special task force focused solely on rappers. This wasn't just regular surveillance. This was a dedicated unit, monitoring hip-hop artists, their lyrics, their movements, and the people around them. The goal? To crack down on the growing violence that was being linked to hip-hop culture at the time. Now, that was back in the late 90s, and a lot has changed since then. Technology has obviously evolved, and so have the methods. Back then, the hip-hop police had to physically follow artists around, but today, they don't even need to leave the office. Cell phones have become the biggest game changer. From location data, to text messages, call logs, and even deleted content, phones are helping solve crimes in ways that were never possible before. Rapper YNW Melly was one of the most promising.
And that'd be one of the dumbest things when people be like, I'm just delete all my information. They can still retrieve deleted information.
You're not deleting anything.
like even if it's off like the physical hardware, they can still, it's like it's backed up into you can't unless you physically wipe. And I think I ain't that much tech savvy. Somebody probably can recover even depending on the time period. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes depending on how long it's been. You know?
Yeah.
Solve crimes in ways that were never possible before. Rapper YNW Melly was one of the most promising new voices in Florida rap when everything changed for him in 2019. He was charged with the double murder of two of his closest friends, Christopher Juvie Thomas Jr. and Anthony Sackchaser Williams. But this wasn't just a typical investigation. Prosecutors didn't rely on just witness statements. They brought in an FBI expert to analyze cell phone data, which turned out to be one of the most crucial pieces of evidence. Surveillance footage showed Melly and the two victims leaving a studio together in a Jeep, and phone records placed them in a desolate area shortly after, an area where police now believe the murders actually happened. The data also showed that Melly was with the victims just minutes before they were dropped off at the hospital, already dead. Despite the defense arguing that phones were shared among the group, the prosecution used text messages, timestamps, and location data to build a digital timeline that painted a very different picture. Even though Melly's case started years ago, it's still unfolding in 2025, and it shows just how advanced these investigations have become. Aside from the YNW Melly case, these same tactics are being used in brand new cases, including...
I will say though, like honestly, 100%. I follow this case, I think mostly every day. I think you tuned in, you know what I'm saying, here and there, and got updates through me from watching it. I watched like legal analysis and all these people breaking down. I'm surprised actually he got a hung jury. Like 100%, I'm surprised like he didn't get convicted. Cause I ain't gonna hold you. If I had to be subpoenaed to be on a jury, I probably would have said guilty just by the evidence. The evidence, I do believe 100% proved that he was in a vehicle at the time of the crime. I do believe it put him in the correct positioning. of it because you actually see him go to that side of the vehicle. I think, to be honest, they had some good, great, strong evidence behind it, and nothing. It just didn't seem like, because I know their thing was he got out the car or repositioned himself in the car, but the way of the traveling of the vehicle, which honestly, statistical, like nothing is 100%. So like even the data that they were using is not gonna be 100% perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But still, like sometimes you also gotta just use some common sense. What you thought about the case?
I really can't remember too much about it.
It's just always funny because we were talking about it earlier.
I remember the video of like, you know, them leaving like out the studio and getting in the car. But I think for myself, like, because I wasn't like, I tune in here and there, but I wasn't like
Every
tuning
day.
in like that and like listening to every single thing. I was kind of like like, what if it, like, at this some point would he have had the opportunity to, I was like that, get out the car. Like, I know you like use your common sense, but sometimes everything ain't about just like,
Only
it's
reason why I
kind of
say
hard
this,
to prove. Like, I get that. I mean, not hard to prove. Let me not say that. It's not hard to prove, but it's just kind of like,
but
with the location and all that, like,
who would he? How like so? If he got out the car, how would he have gone somewhere else if he had got out the car?
again, like I said, I can't remember everything to answer whatever questions that you will ask me. I don't know. So, but from just a little bit I heard, like, maybe so, yeah, I'll be like, he definitely sounds guilty. Like, everything is seeming to be pointing at him. But they probably was hung because you do have those what ifs. You do have those, I guess, gaps in the sense. I don't know the timeline. I don't know that stuff.
I'll say this: they was only hung by one jury.
One that one jury probably felt like someone one working for him, one matching up or whatever. But just from the little bit that I can remember, I was like, he does sound, or it does seem as so with the evidence that they have the person that committed the murders.
Because I understand like fandom, and fandom builds bias, right? And neither one of us has any bias towards the situation. I don't dislike him. I don't like him.
Yeah.
To me, just another artist out here. I'm not like super fanned out. You know what I'm saying? With him, but also super fanned out means that if somebody believes that he's guilty, you will go extra hard to. Oh no, yeah, you don't know what. Like so, like don't comment on some biased nature. Because typically when we do videos talking about rappers, people get in the comments of biased opinion.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to remove that from it, and if you can't, then don't just leave it alone. Don't speak on it.
Like I do think he made some good music. I check out some of the songs, I listen to it. Some of the music come on. I'm like he was a talented brother. But put that to the side. I can put that to the side and see the crime for what it is.
Who took him to the hospital?
The other one, the one that was driving. So Borland was driving, right?
So the
Melly was behind, and the two individuals.
Yeah,
I
remember all that. So the one that was driving, did he testify?
Borland, I don't think Borland testified. Let us know in the comments. I don't think he testified though.
Oh, okay, so
because he got a case too.
So
he's accessory to it. So he has a pending case.
So after it happened, he did get out the car, right?
Remember they got out the car, they shot up the car, made it look like it was a drive-by.
Like it was a drive-by. Okay, I do remember that. I remember that.
And then that's when he left, and somebody else came and picked him up.
Okay.
And then traveling as far as cell phone data shows that they never slowed down. It was a consistent motion, and they was tracking from his cell phone. And that's what they used the cell phone data to ping his how his location was.
Okay.
And the people that were left out with him, they went to the house. But somebody in their car tried to insinuate that he was in the car with them, but they had him on surveillance footage coming into the.
And it was a thing where did they stop at some point and he got out and got in the car with. Okay, I do remember. I just be needing it a little bit. I need for you to jog my memory.
But that's very very vague details.
Yeah,
there's a lot of videos, a lot of people that break down the case. If y'all want to, if you're not familiar with the case, need those details, it's a lot.
I know we have many more. We ain't gotta get stuck on this.
Aside from the YNW Melly case, these same tactics are being used in brand new cases, including one that just made headlines, involving rapper Yella Beezy. On March 20, just over 2 weeks ago, Yella Beezy, real name Marquise Conway, was officially indicted on murder charges in his hometown of Dallas. The indictment accuses him of hiring Keywan White, the man identified as the shooter, to kill North Dallas rapper Mo 3.
Remember the video show? You talking about this fool talking about? Hold on.
Keywan White, the man identified as
Fool talking about, I'll be home soon. Boy, you in jail on a murder, bro. Like, no, they need to keep your ass. Especially in the manner the crime was done. Because we watched the video not too long ago because it came back relevant. I just wish Mo 3 never got out the car. I told you, like, watching that, I was like, why he get out the car? Even if he was reaching for the glove department and trying to retrieve his, if that's the case, why did you get out the car? I hate that he got out the car because I don't think if he got out the car, I wish he just, sometimes, man, duck and speed and hit the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
as the shooter, to kill North Dallas rapper Mo 3, whose real name was Melvin Noble. On November 11, 2020, around 11 a.m., Mo 3 was driving on a Dallas freeway when he realized he was being followed. Mo 3 eventually stopped his car in the center lane of the highway, trying to escape the threat. A man wearing a ski mask, later identified as Keywan White, was tailing him in a black Chevy Camaro. Keywan White then got out of his car with a rifle and chased Mo 3 on foot in broad daylight as traffic came to a stop. Mo 3 shortly before tried to grab a weapon from his vehicle, but couldn't get to it in time, and so he ran. Shortly after, at approximately 11:56 a.m. that day, police responded to the shooting. Witnesses saw Keywan White fire multiple rounds, striking Mo 3 and even hitting other cars. One bystander was injured by a bullet fragment while sitting in their vehicle. Mo 3 was rushed to the hospital, but he didn't survive. A suspect for the murder, Devin Brown, was later arrested after phone records showed he had been making suspicious calls before the murder, trying to track Mo 3's location. Shortly after, Keywan White was identified as the actual shooter. Police received anonymous tips after releasing surveillance images to the public, including a tip from a woman who said she overheard White admit to the shooting. She also provided his Instagram, and detectives confirmed he matched the build seen in the footage. Since it's been 4 years of the murder of Mo 3, the story looked like it was going to end there, with both suspects heading to trial and no known connection to Yella Beezy. That was until just 2 weeks ago, when Yella Beezy was picked up by the feds and indicted on capital murder charges in Texas, which is essentially a death sentence. I don't condone murder, but if you're going to take a life, don't do it in Texas. According to the indictment, this wasn't just speculation. Investigators reportedly uncovered direct communication between
that's the reason why they never mind.
Yella Beezy and the alleged shooter, Keywan White. Text messages and other digital evidence suggest that Beezy was in contact with White in the days leading up to the murder of Mo 3. But it gets even deeper. Prosecutors told Judge Gracie Lewis that the state has a witness prepared to testify that Beezy was part of a conversation about the payment for the hit. And just days after the murder, Yella Beezy allegedly withdrew $40,000 from an account, money that prosecutors believe was tied to that payment. It's the kind of slow building behind the scenes case that shows exactly how the feds operate today, collecting digital footprints, tracking financial movements, and waiting for the right moment to strike. Because up until this point, Yella Beezy was out living his life, posting, performing, and moving like everything was normal. But behind the scenes, the feds were building their case, and it was the digital traces he left behind, texts, phone records, and money transfers, that started to paint a different picture. In 2025, it's not always about catching someone in the act. It's about collecting the digital breadcrumbs and connecting the dots later on. And that's something the feds have mastered. They did the same thing in the famous...
And honestly, I think with the Yella Beezy situation, it's too early to tell, like, all with the evidence. I know people out of, like, Dallas and out of Texas might know more information, but people who are not, we're not privy to, like, the street knowledge and the rumors that goes around and float around certain cities. Like in other certain cases, we are privy to that information. But I think in the Yella Beezy case, I think it's too early to call for individuals who are not from the area. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This Lil Durk case, after Lil Durk was caught making a payment from a bank account linked to OTF, something that the feds thoroughly...
What? Did you know that? See, like, I don't know nothing, child. Don't include me in nothing.
At this point, everything being said, new information to me.
than the feds have mastered. They did the same thing in the famous Lil Durk case after Lil Durk was caught making a payment from a bank account linked to OTF, something that the feds thoroughly investigated, which is why Lil Durk is currently locked up. When it comes to rappers, it hits different, because for a lot of street rappers, having credibility is more important than anything else. That pressure to prove you're really about what you rap, it leads to songs that sometimes do more than just entertain. They help the feds connect dots. Lyrics and music videos, they all become pieces of evidence when the law starts looking closer. But it's not just songs, it's really social media getting a lot of rappers caught up. In the now famous YSL RICO case, the indictment specifically pointed to social media content as evidence of real criminal activity. And
you think right now is like it's super messy because so many people are trying to do social media as well, especially like I know people, y'all, it ain't the bloggers, y'all getting mad at the bloggers because again, previous posts videos we done, people especially y'all suburbians get mad when we say the bloggers and stuff, but also y'all do fail to realize a lot of information y'all putting out there is not 100% factual. A lot of information y'all are reading is not 100% factual. I will say it could be 70% of the truth. It could be 80. It could be 10% of the truth. Mm-hmm. We don't know because nobody is actually there that's making these posts and making these videos to know everything that goes down. They reading stories after stories after stories that have been possibly told after told after told.
Yeah.
And same way with the telephone, and misinformation gets put out. Mm-hmm. So you trying to tie what's truth and what's false. If you hear, you don't know what the fuck going on. Right. Unless you are at least somewhat tied to the individual that might have committed the crime.
Yeah.
And you probably don't even know 100% of the truth. Even if, like, even my homie went out and did a crime, he can't probably told me 90% of what actually happened.
Yeah.
Because he's telling his point of view.
Yeah.
Not exactly what everything happened. But I do believe, because we just saw, like, if you've, yesterday was reported, as we recording this today, yesterday, when I had sent you the post about Lil Durk getting, some of the evidence that they are using stems from stuff that's posted online.
Yeah.
And it's fan-made information.
Yeah.
So they also, to me, that's not hardcore evidence.
No.
And I, on some real spill, I wish, this just goes out to all like up-and-coming new artists, no matter if you street, suburban, whatever, straight A student.
Whatever your background is.
Yeah, doesn't matter. I just wish y'all would stop going to the blog, doing those interview styles, and actually go to real journalists and real, like, go back to the radio station giving interviews. Them people ain't trying to get y'all incriminated on those street shit. They asking y'all more questions about your music, more possibly about your background, your upbringing. That's literally, we ain't asking about no criminal activity. We just want to know where you from. Did you play any sports? Like, those kind of information. We're going to the Vlads, the no jumpers, and all these that wants that. Oh, I got the hardcore. Like, come on now. Like they're literally gathering this information. I don't care how many of them say, "Hey, the police ain't reached out to me." They don't have to reach out to you. It's publicly documented information. I could just take this and refer it back to such and such. Only time they will reach out to y'all if you post it and removed it. And they say, hey,
they want it for.
We seen that this was published. Mm-hmm. We got evidence that it was published. We know the fact that you took it down. Now we subpoenaing this because we need this.
Because we need this.
And that's the reason why they will reach out to you.
Whatever evidence, whatever.
Yeah. Like, please stop going to these platforms because none of these platforms are positively helping. Let's be real. You going on a no jumper ain't boosting your visual aspect and your music.
I'll let you finish.
No, you go.
No, I definitely agree with everything you're saying. And I think we've had these conversations too.
Yeah, privately, yeah.
I do sometimes be like, these people that's doing these interviews and stuff like that, or whatever the case, be on some BS.
Yeah.
But also, you don't have to be dumb and stupid. You don't have to answer the questions that these people are asking.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all get up there as well. On top, they know what they're doing, but they just seeing who gonna be dumb enough to sit here and tell everything that they got going for the world to see.
True.
And for later, for the fans to come and lock you up or use that against, whatever, for whatever case they trying to build against you.
My biggest thing is, to piggyback off that, again, going on any of these platforms doesn't help the artist at all.
Yeah,
And that's the
it
reason why I'm
doesn't.
saying,
And my
like, go
thing
back
is,
to doing the legit
that's why I
radio.
said I agree with you. I agree with that. So as artists, know that it's not helping you. If music is really what you want to do, if that's what
And I agree with you
that's
too.
the thing. That's really what you want to do. Going on people like Vlad and No Jumper and all that,
Yeah.
it's not going to help you. You know what I'm saying?
It's just gonna further incriminate you.
But if that's what you choose to do, do not get up there answering all these questions, incriminating yourself.
But also, you know how these people comment. If you don't want to go on these platforms, I wouldn't go anyways.
Well, don't go. Well, don't go.
I wouldn't even go. And but you want me to tell you what the petty shit that I don't like is they get mad because you say no.
Okay, well, it is what it is.
Like,
don't
which
go.
Is weird.
I wouldn't go. They wouldn't have no content if you don't show up. And like you said, I will go back to how it used to be. Like, actually, if that's what you really want to, really build on whatever it is that you're trying to do your career, then go to, like you said, a real journalist.
Yeah.
And leave it at that.
Gang ties. It even included screenshots of posts where Young Thug was seen wearing red, flashing gang signs, and referring YSL, which prosecutors labeled a criminal organization. In other words, the feds were treating these posts like digital confessions. They also used wiretaps to capture private conversations.
So now, anytime anybody out here posting up, throwing up, watch what you throwing up. I ain't gonna lie. I probably have shown up in somebody court documents before, just about like passing by. I've been places and we didn't see the feds out there snapping photos before. And I'm just like, damn, bro, I ain't know it's this hot over here. You know what I'm saying? Like, what?
No, I was just looking up something.
But, yeah.
Conversations involving Young Thug, and in one of them, prosecutors say Thug asked his associates, "Y'all ain't beat him up or shot him yet?" before adding, "Y'all niggas getting soft." This exchange was listed in the indictment as another overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. It's obviously not a crime to post on social media, but when there's a pattern, when the lyrics, the photos and the captions and even the conversations all start lining up with real world violence, that's when it becomes a problem. That's how something meant to boost image and street cred can suddenly turn into evidence in a federal indictment, something that the feds are taking full advantage of. Another example of how deep these investigations run.
Are you surprised he beat his case?
Thug?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like he beat his case because it was drawn
messy.
out.
It was drawn out, but it just seemed like a freaking freak show. Like, I mean, like, it was, I don't know, it just was a little, every time I see something, it was just comical. I was like, what is happening? It was a mess to me.
But I was surprised, but not surprised.
But not surprised at the same time, yeah.
Is the case of rapper Casanova, real name Caswell Sr. In 2023, he was sentenced to over 15 years in prison for racketeering and drug trafficking charges tied to the violent Gorilla Stone Nation Bloods gang. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, Casanova wasn't just affiliated, he was a high-profile leader who helped expand the gang's reach nationwide. He was involved in a shooting at a house party in Florida and helped traffic hundreds of kilos of marijuana under his own 2X brand. The gang he represented was organized, violent, and active across multiple states, and the feds had been watching for some time. Casanova eventually pled guilty, and his status as a public figure only made the case stronger. The feds essentially had everything they needed. They didn't need to get no flashy confession. After all, they had thorough documentation of the organized crime that Casanova and his guys were involved in, and Casanova had a lot of public visibility, so the federal task force had already connected all the dots. In almost every case, it's the rappers leaving behind the trail themselves, whether it's lyrics, messages, or posts. These digital traces are what end up putting the pieces together for the feds. The era of posting online and thinking it won't catch up to you is of course over. We already know that.
You know, another thing I was thinking about when it comes down to it, like, everything these people are doing, and that's the reason why, like, so many people that's older, like, just be like, damn, is because everything they're doing is not anything new. Mm-hmm. They're doing the same thing that they've been doing. It's just now with technology and advancement of technology, which is social media, the internet exposure, even the blogs, it's just being put into the light more. Like, people throwing up signs and being like, everywhere you go, you know, or they talking about in their rap songs and their lyrics. That has always been a thing. Mm-hmm. It's just now with the advancement of technology, it's out there more.
Right.
And so And they're using RICO law to really combat and catch things. Like back in the day, you catch a gun charge. They weren't locking people like rappers up on the RICO charge. The first, in my understanding of individual getting hit on the RICO, was like Murder Inc. Like I don't even know much about that case. You know what I'm saying? I know a little bit, but I was a kid when that stuff happened. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even know like a lot of information behind that whole ordeal with that. But nowadays, it's just the exposure of it.
Feds. The era of posting online and thinking it won't catch up to you is of course over. We already know that the feds have entire departments dedicated to watching social media pages. People literally get paid to sit back, scroll, and document everything. But not every city is just sitting back and waiting to hand out RICOs. In some places, law enforcement is trying to step in before things get worse. And that's exactly what's happening in Florida. In Jacksonville, there's a task force led by Sheriff TK Waters that's taken a different approach. Something YouTuber Peter Santinello got exclusive access to just a few weeks ago. Instead of letting young rappers and gang-affiliated individuals stack charges for years, this team is watching social media closely, especially Instagram. And when they see someone openly towing guns online, that's a signal. And that's when they literally end up, showing up to your house with paperwork, warning you that if you don't stop, you will be arrested. It's what they call proactive policing, a way to intervene before the violence actually goes down. In about half of these cases, the warning actually works. They take it seriously and change direction. But the other half, they keep pushing. And by that point, it's already too late. The feds, of course, have been watching. The evidence is stacking up and the case is building itself. They let him post, they let him brag, they let the crimes pile up until one day they show up with a stacked case against them.
A lot of stuff that they do is they follow these guys on Instagram Live. They understand what's going on. They hear about things that are going on. Then we interdict them before they get a chance to go do bad stuff.
At the end of the day, this isn't just about rap music. It's about...
What you think of that? You like that?
I do. Because like you said, like with half of them, it helps. It works. You will have that. It'll be that 50-50. You have some that, okay, I got you. And then you have the other want to be rebellious. And like, you can't tell me shit. I'm going to still do me. And just, be on that type of time. And, all right, well, we warned you. And this is what it is. And now we're about to build our case. And let's show it.
Cause like, we can't act like this stuff never happened, never went down. As far as bragging about crimes, that shit has always been going down. It's just now, how the saying is, the game is meant to be told, never sold. It's like, you put people on. Like, the game was always local. Yeah. Now with social media, everybody wants to be globally known. Yeah. And so they're trying to sell this story instead of people telling about your story. Most rappers used to, back in the day, just talked about the biggest dope boy in the neighborhood. Yeah. The dope boy wasn't the rapper. Now, or the killer wasn't the rapper. Like, it was, you rapped about the people that were doing the killing. You never said names. You'd be like, hey, I got a homie that'll do you. You know what I'm saying? I think Chief Keef changed the rhetoric of people doing that. When he came out, he started dropping names and started dropping notoriety around neighborhoods. Now, it was always known to talk about your neighborhood and speak on it. Yeah. But it's the way he went about doing it that I think has influenced a whole generation, a whole new movement of people doing it. And now, not only are they trying to, they're not trying to just make themselves known. They're trying to make the area known. Their homie, they're doing the crime known. But it is dry snitching in the same sense. And it's bringing light onto you that you ain't. And now with technology, they're watching y'all. They probably got a camera posted up outside your block on your neighborhood, watching you as you come and go at your house.
Probably so.
You really don't know. Like he said, they literally have people watching y'all and literally building cases. Yeah. Every gang sign you throw up.
Changed. Like, they're more advanced.
Got that one. Yeah. And then not only that, they want to know, all right, who this fella is. Mm-hmm. Who that fella is. Kind of like, I ain't trying to bring him up, but you know who I'm talking about. He ain't did a crime. He's just in photos and videos. And so they start watching him. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-mm. Want me to say?
Yeah, that's fine. Because I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just talking about your nephew.
Oh.
Never did anything, right? But they saw him involved with other people. And so they start watching him. Mm-hmm. And then they start trying to make a track record of him. and wanted to know who the hell he is and his association. You know what I'm saying? You might not have a criminal record, but they building and they're watching you. And now when you come in, we already been on to you.
Yeah.
We already been watching you.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, even somebody like your nephew ain't really did nothing. But they start watching and peeping, and they already start building a case before he even gets a case. You get what I mean? Mm-hmm. All because of who you associated with.
True.
Interdict them before they get a chance to go do bad stuff.
At the end of the day, this isn't just about rap music. It's about how closely the streets, the internet, law enforcement, and everything in between is connected in 2025. Every post, every lyric, every DM, it's all being watched. Honestly, you would have to be a fool to think that you're under the radar these days. Because under the RICO statute, a case gets thrown out if the person didn't commit a crime within 5 years of the indictment. That's why the feds don't even need you to be active right now. If they can prove you did something within that 5-year window, they can still hit you with charges. And that's exactly how a lot of rappers end up getting caught off things they thought were already behind them. This is the new era of policing, the new era of crime, and the new era of rap.
I wonder is that the reason why they had to go ahead and get Yella Beezy, because the crime happened in 2020, right? It's 2025. If they had waited to get to... But I know it's still murder, but it's conspiracy, and they probably trying to get him with the RICO.
Well, I have to know that first. What they actually charged him with, because that's like totally different.
I think it's conspiracy to commit murder, capital murder. But I'm saying, are y'all hitting him with a RICO with it, or do even Texas even got state RICOs? Because that's a different thing. But I guess conspiracy to commit murder.
It's too much to keep up with state to state. I barely know the state I'm in, child.
Because like I think in Tennessee we can't. I don't think we have state RICO. I think we just got what's called. Yeah. You can do a federal RICO, but like Georgia.
I know, like yeah.
Georgia got state RICO. I didn't even know about that. I was like, damn, state RICO?
And the question is, will street rappers learn from this? And who exactly is next? Because you know how it is. There's always going to be someone brave enough to go down this path. If you made it this far, drop a like on this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new here, my name is Blackie Speaks. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for subscribing. Welcome to the family. What do you guys think about?
But yeah, I don't know,
and
man.
Sometimes with some people, I just be like, when it comes to like them, like, you know, in the music and just telling how things happen verbatim, like just laying it all out there, getting these interviews, thinking you untouchable. Y'all get a little too cocky, and y'all be like just talking and running them lips. Sometimes I be like, you kind of ask for it. You know what I'm saying? Because you've had example after example way before you. I don't understand why you feel like you're untouchable or stuff won't come back and bite you in the butt. True. But y'all grown, honey. Do y'all.
You said y'all grown. Hey, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. You grown enough to do the crime. You grown enough to do the time. So,
at this point,
all we can say is Godspeed. That's how I look at it. Hey, man, y'all spend most up in the comments, man. Y'all let us know y'all thoughts about it for us in the comment section down below. But until next time, y'all know how it go, man. I do go by the name DJ New Kid. This is
See you, Nicole.
We are.
We are.
Time to kick it, got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.